Today we're going to be getting the Miata started, and hopefully we'll be able to dial a lot of the things in that we didn't get to last video. I just got back from a drift event. It was a private day at Orlando Speed World, and I'm super stoked. I got to ride in a LS swapped Sylvia with a Hellcat supercharger. It was honestly amazing. I'll put the video here. I was also super bummed because I couldn't drive. My car is not here. It's actually at the shop, and we're gonna be getting a brand new roll cage because I low-key got screwed over on my last one. The upper bars were way too low, so to give you a reference, it was right about here, and I could not move my head any way possible to the left. That really sucked, and I was a little worried about my safety. And you know, at the end of the day, we all just want to have some fun. So there was no point in taking that risk and keep driving, even though I drove like that for almost a year. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the motor mounts are bad or loose or something, because when I tried to start it when I first bought it, it was just shaking all over the place. So we'll be able to get that dialed in as well. So let's get started. All right, so just to give you guys a quick recap, we've redone this connector, we've redone the alternator connector and the ring terminal, and we've also redone the oil pressure sensor, which is a little jigged up, but it's all good. I found a little vacuum line that was all ripped up. Now we still have to redo this, which I believe is O2 sensor. Cam sensor connectors are broken, injector connectors are broken, so we still have a lot to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick oil change on the Miata, and as soon as I loosen the drain plug, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not flowing a lot. Like, there's something wrong here. And if you can't tell already, there's something just there in the oil pan, and it's like clogging it up. I have no idea whatsoever if this is like a napkin or a tissue or some sort of weird thing that was put into the engine. I really have no clue at all. From what I can tell, it was just that piece, but it did look a little bit ripped. So that raises a lot of concern for me, and was like, should I open the engine up and check what's going on? When I did start it though, I honestly didn't really see a lot of catastrophic things going on. So I kind of made the conclusion that I would just look past this a little bit, and if something goes on, I'll take responsibility for that in the future. But for now, we should be okay. I never really told you guys this, but when I bought the Miata, it came with a mystery box of parts in the trunk. And while I was doing the oil change, I was like, oh, cool. Let me look in the mystery box. Found a brand new filter. I was like, let's go. And you'd already know it's not the right filter. So we had to get in the RX-8 and buy the right filter. By the way, Miata filter location is a little bit weird, but I'm actually kind of liking it. Picked up a new battery, got that oil filter in, put some oil in it, and we're ready to go. Now we're working on the O2 sensor, and this absolute beauty of a masterpiece drives by. Turns out he lives down the street. He's a really cool guy, and honestly, it was just nice talking to him overall and knowing there's other people who also work on cars in the community. O2 sensor plug is done and all ready to go, and watch what happens when I try to start the car. Oh my god, there's a lot. If you can't tell by now, we have a very massive vacuum leak that we have to fix. It was a pretty big given. Now we just kind of had to pinpoint exactly where it was coming from. That's when my cousin mentioned to me that there was a hole in the intake. As soon as I saw this crazy hole, I started looking on eBay for crossover tubes, and I was able to snag one for around $40. The only big issue with that is that it would take 3 weeks to ship. I was like, 3 weeks is way too much. I ordered the crossover tube, but I also went to Amazon and ordered a plastic welder. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna plastic weld this thing. I've never even plastic welded before. At least I can try my best to learn something new while the crossover tube from eBay is still shipping. And this is how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think. Fixing that motor vibration issue was probably one of the major things on our list. So as soon as they came in, I replaced them, and honestly I didn't film this part much because there's not a lot of visibility for you guys to kind of see what's going on. Also, it was really late at night, so I called it a day after that. When I start the car, you're gonna notice that the idle's really wonky and it's really weird. I found out what it was, and I'll be able to show you guys that in just a second now. High pitch. If you look right here, there's a really high pitched noise, and the idle's really weird. When you plug it, it starts idling like it should. Kind of. The gas is smoking right here. We're gonna have to fix that. For now, the Miata doesn't really have a lot of wiring issues, but the old split loom is failing on us, and it's time to give it a little bit of a refresh. She really deserves it. Unfortunately, on top of the split loom, most of the connectors are either broken or almost on their way to being broken, so I made sure to order every single connector that was either partially damaged or along the same harness of the partially damaged connectors. So I am going to be redoing this section of the harness that has the idle air control valve, TPS, and the thermal switch connector. I'm also going to redo the injector harness. What I'm kind of going for here is like a race spec type of harness. I am not a professional, guys. Please take everything I say with a little bit of a grain of salt. When it comes to building a car or just working on a car in general, one of the more satisfying parts for me is definitely redoing the wiring harness. Wiring in general is really fun to me. I've taken a lot of interest in the wiring harnesses that they make for race cars. Since our Miata is not only going to be a street car but also a track car, I would like to implement a little bit of that into our build because it looks so much cooler than the OEM split loom, and at the end of the day it really is a lot more functional. One of the main reasons it's done this way is for the weight savings as well. I'm not super interested in that. Right now the way the Miata is going, it's just going to be a simple street and track car. Even though I still have so much left to learn about wiring, I am having an absolute blast doing this. it is the next morning. I just woke up. It's 9 o'clock. I resurfaced the connection between the throttle body and the intake manifold. I flattened everything down to make sure the gasket would go straight. This little spot kept on leaking, so hopefully by this time it shouldn't leak anymore. Now, reanalyzing this clip, we have two major takeaways that we can kind of understand from this. And it really is, why is the engine still vibrating so much? And how come there's still air coming out of the intake system? The conclusion I've been able to reach is the clamp that is on the intake is most certainly not the right one. There's a groove on top of the intake where it connects to the throttle body, and the clamp just does not grab onto that groove like an OEM clamp would. As for the motor vibration issue, the company that sold me the motor mounts say that it takes around 500 miles for everything to settle in, so vibration can be normal. Now for me that does make sense, but I know that my Miata has been worked on before, and it's not just an OEM Miata that we're working on. After taking a further look at everything, I saw some missing bolts that connect the engine to the transmission. It seems that there is enough bolts to hold everything together and make it stable, but I did order the bolts to have that extra sense of security and hopefully be able to minimize every single possibility of vibration. That's all for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this video had a lot of work involved and not driving. However, I still think you guys deserve to see the full documentation of how everything came together. Merry Christmas to all of you out there who celebrate the holidays. Make sure to like and subscribe if you found this interesting and you want to follow me and the little Miata that could on this journey.